Kimmerha Huludunya, Feuchamaich Olde Scot the Celtic podcast. On today's show, we will introduce you to more on the Dative case. But why, you ask? Well, I'll explain this and why it's so important. And I'm also going to do something fun. Remember the old game, 20 questions? Well, I'm going to do it for you in Gaelic, on Gaelic, and it'll help you with conversing in Gaelic. Now, and we'll do all that in Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. We'll tell you of the Celtic legacy in America in today's Celtic history segment. And I'll tell you a story about a Pictish standing stone, a new discovery, and the St. Louis St. Andrew Society and all they do. We'll do that in today's Everyday Celtic Ways. Today we'll hear music from Alison Helzer, Jonquil Jones in Corgailga, Texas, fiddle and Grania Holland. And as always, a wee bit of Irish trivia to test your knowledge to start us off. In the park in Dublin, St. Stephen's Green, is a statue of a famous Irish gentleman lounging upon a large boulder. He is famously quoted as saying, "Bigamy is having one too many wives, and so is monogamy." Who is he? All right. Remember, learngaelic.net. It's a great resource for your Gaelic learning. Take advantage of it. I know I will. And anyone within the earshot of this in the St. Louis area that would like to be a part of a weekly Scottish Gaelic class, be sure to comment and I will send you all the details. I'm trying to get anybody interested. So, just let me know. Feuchamaich, let's kick this thing off. was Feuchamaich by Alison Helzer. That's Feuchamaich is the boatman. And now, Han Tom and Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. It's time to try a little Gaelic. Today we will discuss the dative case of noun and why it's so important to know. And the game 20 questions so you can have fun conversing in Gaelic. And as always, I will display on the screen what I am discussing. So Tashiki Shin, let's begin. Now, the last few Gaelic lessons I have been very grammatical, as I always put it. The reason I emphasize some of the aspects of grammar is that it will help you in the long run. I have been stressing the dative case of nouns because in spoken Gaelic, the modifications to the words are not detectable for the most part. In written Gaelic, I want you to be able to detect what the word is, which can be tough given how some words change. For example, cas, which is leg, and you'll see it on the screen. A has is the leg. You get the introduction of the H there. You got hush on the leg. You get the introduction of the H and an OI. And then the dative indefinite singular kush on a leg. Now notice how the same word, the same thing, the same root word takes on 4 different spellings. If you didn't know that it could change, you might not recognize it when you see it. Now, I'm going to give you 7 examples of different situations like this. Now, in no way do I expect you to remember all this, but I want you to have the information just so you can, some of us will get it, some of us won't. So just be alert and notice the root word whenever you can, and also keep the context of the sentence in mind. A lot of times that'll clue you in to what that word is supposed to be. Alright, number 1, the monosyllabic nouns. A letter I is inserted after the last broad vowel. And most common changes are the A to the OI and the O to the UI. Like in a chas, the leg, and hoish on the leg. And of course, and long, the ship, and lung on the ship. Number 2, in both mono and polysyllabic nouns, a letter I is inserted after the broad vowel A, as in lav, the hand, or and leif, on the hand. In polysyllabic nouns, the final, and don't let these words scare you. Polysyllabic means it's more than one. Monosyllabic means one syllable. It's pretty simple. But number 3, in polysyllabic nouns, the final vowel group EA changes to EI. The most common change is in the ending EAG to EIG, as in ahalik, the girl, or akahalik, at the girl. Okay. Number 4, the vowel group EA will change to I, as in a herk, the hen, or phone herk, under the hen. In monosyllabic nouns, the diphthong IA will change to EI, as in agrian, the sun, or phone under the sun. Number 6, in monosyllabic nouns, the diphthong IO will change to I, as in achriak, the boundary, or akachrik, at the boundary. Now there is no change when the noun ends in a vowel or the CHD, or if the last vowel is already an I. An example would be chora, the sheep, phone chora, under the sheep. No change. Alright. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit to you, gives you a little bit of more of what we've been talking about over the last couple lessons. And like I said, it's this grammar stuff. Sometimes it can seem like it's very difficult, but if you learn it, it'll help you recognize words and help you in the long run. All right. Gonna throw out some vocabulary words here for you. Some adjectives: dew, black; gale, white; oak, evil; savalcha, safe. Conjunctions: or is for or because. And the nouns. Now, since we've been talking about these nouns, I'm going to show you the datives with each noun that it applies to. And if it doesn't have it, the second word in there, then it doesn't apply. Bu, shop; halak or halak, old woman; chora, sheep; kas or kush, leg or foot; kirk, kirk; hen; kaylee, kaylee or a party, that's what a kaylee is; crick, boundary; finnick, crow; firk, anger; lav, hand; grian, sun; muir, sea; nayach, news; poch, pot; skullock, story; slat, rod or wand; skieth, wing or shield; strach, street; tone, your rump, your backside, as in, well, I wouldn't say that the Irish one is poke mahone, but it's the same root word. Unya, time or spell; unyik, window; matin, morning. Alright, I'm going to give you some sentences here to translate into English. Ha en licher show yan halak. Number 1. Va en grien va an savatin. 2. Nachro eet achavor tron oiche. 3. Va eet Va I ansan lepi tron vatin. 4. Ha en nien rish en unyek, or ha agrien bla. 5. And then 6. Va skieth don erachirk. Actually, I probably should soften that hone. So it's va skieth hon erachirk. Alright. Now, that's it for that. And we're going to move on to the fun part of this. You remember the game 20 Questions when you was a kid? So one person would think of something and the other person gets 20 questions to guess what it is. Now, if they get it, they win. And you can use any number of players in this. You can have a roundabout on the table, or you can do it in groups or however you want. But if they ask the 20 questions and they don't, they lose. So it's pretty simple, but it's a great way to converse in a simple way for beginners. It gets you to using the language. Now, I will give you a list of 20 questions, but please feel free to use your own if you like, and have fun doing it. After all, this is supposed to be fun. All right. Number 1, Aveli bio. Is it alive? And ro I bio riv. Was it ever alive? Ha I bialach ahon. Is it an animal? Ani lush ahon. Is it a plant? Ani minir ahon. Is it a mineral? Aveli nas mocha na bukas erlen. Is it bigger than a bread box? Aveli chomor rintai. Is it as big as a house? Aveli chomor rohoster. Is it as big as a toaster? Aveli cho bek rifenia or. Is it as small as a gold ring? Aveli cho bek rilugik. Is it as small as a mouse? Aveli unya, jerek, gel, imig, dahya. Is it green, red, or multicolored? Engave isha, can it be eaten? Engave bianten, can it be touched? And tech akit hakin, can it be seen? Aveli krui bok, is it hard or soft? Engave toggle, can it be lifted? Now this one, you could just insert the word. You can insert a Gaelic word or an English word, either way. Cluck, Erson, whatever the word is, A. Can you use it for blank? That's what that means. Aveli trom, is it heavy? Aveli fada or gorlich, is it long or short? Avel felig or blas air, can you smell or taste? And then, of course, there's always kind of the universal question on a blank, a hound. All right. Now, just have fun with that. Enjoy conversing in Gaelic and enjoy the music.
I wish I was on yonder hill, 'tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, until every tear would turn a mill. Iscoche to my warning slan. I'll sell my rock, I'll sell my reel, I'll sell my only spinning wheel, for to buy my love a sword of steel. Iscoche to my warning slan. Shul, 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 shularun, shul go sakaraga, shul go kyun, shul go dorasaga selilam. Iscoche to my warning slan. I'll dye my petticoats, I'll dye them red, and round the world I'll beg my bread, until my parents should wish me dead. Iscoche to my warning slan. Shul, shul, shularun, shul go sakaraga, shul go kyun, shul go dorasaga selilam. Iscoche to my warning slan. But now my love has gone to France to try his fortune to advance. If he e'er comes back, 'tis but a chance. Iscoche to my warning slan. Shul, 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 shularun, shul go sakaraga, shul go kyun, shul go dorasaga selilam. Iscoche to my warning slan. Shul, shul, shularun, shul go sakaraga, shul go kyun, shul go dorasaga selilam. Iscoche to my warning slan.
All right, that was Sularoon from Corgelga, Texas. And they are our focus in today's The Celtic Music Spotlight. Corgelga, Texas performs traditional songs in Scottish Gaelic and Irish. The Gaelic, or the Gaeilge, established in 1997, the group regularly appears at festivals in Texas and the surrounding region. In addition to performing, the group also teaches locally and at festivals, and as an important element in maintaining interest in the ancient linguistic and music heritage of the Gaels. As none are native speakers, the members Corgelg are constantly honing their individual language and music skills. Dedicated to learning and sharing songs in Gaelic, the band consists of Denise Sweeney, Jonquil Jones, Marie Paddock, Michelle Hiller, and Vicky Morris. And I gained a lot of my knowledge of Gaelic from one of the members, Jonquil Jones, as she was my Gaelic teacher for quite some time. I would always make it a point to listen to her group at any festival they performed. And Jonquil, she just absolutely loves Gaelic music. She loves to sing, and she has a beautiful voice. She even got her students singing once in a while, including me, and I thank her for all she has done to help me and to promote the Gaelic languages. Alright, next we're going to delve into the rich history that is our Celtic past in Celtic History Break. Today's topic is the Celtic legacy in America. Alright. Now, the ancient Celts migrated and settled throughout much of Europe during the first 7 centuries of their existence, beginning in about 750 BC before developing the necessary boat-building and seafaring technology to reach and settle the Isles of Britain and Ireland. They were farmers, artisans, and creators of original art throughout much of continental Europe. Alexander the Great knew the Celts firsthand in Bulgaria in 355 BC, just as Julius Caesar would 200 years later in Italy, Switzerland, France, and Britain. That was more than 2 millennia ago. By the time of the European colonizing of North America, it seemed natural that Celtic Ireland, being the closest part of the Old World to the New World, should provide proportionately the greatest number of immigrants. And it did. Some Celtic immigrants were driven by famine, some by religious, economic, and political persecution from the English, yet others sailed across the Atlantic acting on the Celtic penchant for exploration and adventure that had been taken by their ancestors across uncharted seas from mainland Europe to populate Britain and Ireland. Many Celtic immigrants to America were Welsh, so many that in Pennsylvania they once published books in the Welsh Celtic language for use in their American community. Many Celts immigrated not just to America, but also to Canada, where Scottish names such as Nova Scotia, meaning New Scotland, Kirkwall, Stromness, and Scapa can be found today. Gaelic is still spoken in parts of Cape Breton, a place where visitors can stay at the magnificent Celtic Lodge. Oh wow, I'll have to do that. Described as Nova Scotia's flagship resort. Descendants of Scottish Highland settlers at St. Anne's keep the old ways alive at the Gaelic College with annual Highland Games, radio stations in Newfoundland regularly play Irish music and feature Irish singers to audiences of predominantly Irish descent. On Newfoundland's rugged coast lies Cape Spear, the wave-lashed easternmost tip of the North American continent. Its rocky finger points dramatically across the Atlantic, over which Celtic immigrants from Scotland, Wales, and Ireland came to the New World, with their hopes and dreams, many of them to escape the practices of those who ruled from London. Many Americans who mark their national independence on July 4th are not aware of the third stanza of the American national anthem, which was diplomatically removed during World War II. This stanza, paying tribute to those who valiantly fought for freedom from the British, included the words, "Foul footsteps, population of the British, over the land of the free and the home of the brave." Now, the American Revolution of 1775 to 1783 involved many patriots of Celtic heritage. The historic figures who signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776 included 3 men who were born in Ireland, 2 were born in Scotland, and 2 born in Wales. 10 other signers were of Irish, Scottish, or Welsh descent, including John Hancock, whose family came from Ireland. Thomas Jefferson, of Welsh ancestry, drafted the document himself. Irish-born Charles Thomson made the first finished copy of the document. Excuse me. And John Dunlap, also born in Ireland, first printed it. An Irishman, architect, James Hoban, born in Kilkenny, Ireland, designed and built the White House, and rebuilt it after it was burned by the British in 1814. Eventually, 13 U.S. presidents could claim Irish ancestry, including William McKinley, Ulysses S. Grant, and Ronald Reagan. 3 presidents were born from parents who came directly from Ireland, including James Buchanan and said that the best soldiers among the Irish rebels were the Irish, and hopefully proposed augmenting his own demoralized army with some of them. In 1784, after the successful revolution, a speaker in the Irish Parliament of then British-occupied Ireland lamented that America was lost by Irish immigrants. And 100 years later, with so many Irishmen in America, a British Home Secretary petulantly complained that the rebellious Irish were now out of reach of the British government. Wow. During the Revolution, Irish-American John Sullivan was a lawyer who served as one of George Washington's most able generals. Promoted to Major General for his military successes against the British, he was later elected as New Hampshire's first governor, and was influential in getting the Constitution ratified. As many as 15 of Washington's top officers were born in Ireland. Not all the Celts who fought against the British in America were Irish. Scottish-born Alexander MacDougall, a fiery opponent to British trade restrictions in America, was a founder of the Sons of Liberty, an organization in New York. He served in the army against the British throughout the Revolution and was later in charge of West Point. Wow. Ooh, dang. Excuse me. Ooh. An Irish American won honors for the Revolution at sea. John Barry was born in Wexford, Ireland, in 1776 while commanding the American brig Lexington. He captured the British tender Edward, the first British ship taken by a commissioned American ship. That's cool. 1782, he took 2 other British vessels after a fight. Barry has been called the father of the American Navy. Well, I don't know about that, but the modern Celtic migration was not confined to America. By 1851 in Australia, for example, 30% or more of the Europeans who settled that land were from Ireland. I'll bet involuntarily, though, for some. In 1990, I don't know if you know this, but Australia and Tasmania used to be a penal colony for the British. And a lot of Irish people and Welsh people and Scottish people went there, serve out their time. Matter of fact, the song Black Velvet Band, that's what speaks about that, about a young man who gets in trouble with a young lady and ends up going to Australia. Anyway, even yet allowing for the thousands of Celts who went to Australia and New Zealand, the journey to North America from Europe was to be the last great Celtic migration in the world. Now, while Scotland and Wales contributed significantly to the European settlement of America, the largest number of Celts who immigrated to America, however, was from Ireland, about 5 million within 150 years, more than the average annual population of Ireland itself. Wow. That's fascinating. All right, now, some of the early immigrant vessels to America were called coffin ships because 4 passengers, men and women together, slept in a space 6 by 8 feet. Wow. That's incredible. The ships could also have been given this name for their ever-recurring outbreaks of cholera and typhoid. A further danger lay in the unseaworthiness of the ships themselves. Some of them sailed into the stormy Atlantic with their desperate but hopeful passengers and were never seen again. The approximate location of at least one doomed ship, the Ocean Monarch, is known. It burned and sank with a loss of 186 lives, while still within sight of Liverpool, its port of embarkation. Now, once at sea, exploitive captains and crews sold spoiled food to the passengers at extorted prices. Fresh drinking water sometimes ran out before reaching New York. And thousands steerage passengers were crowded into bigger ships but only the privileged few in cabin class were allowed to enjoy the fresh air on the open decks. So, when you're thinking about your ancestors, think about what they had to go through just to get here. It was not a, catching a cruise ship nowadays or hopping a plane and flying over. And they literally put their lives on the line to come here to America to give their families and themselves a better life. So we owe them a debt of gratitude. All right, that's it for Celtic History Break.
Farflek agus fralik a sjomen a halne sé doen na grenja golle tugreja gij het sé sjakten en golle dilan agus na tjunjeller baninji heller. Tal het sé sta me wa heldiga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja doen na grenja. Nilien van a gorki na rullische gommen na kalinio gas shingle is pas am rekus am lille sjelan a sjakten en blader is brega actri skelte. Tal het sé sta me wa heldiga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Es taljer is skoer is printer my noor de doen na grenja kom het sé ver sa boorde gas lapi a janika tapi is pishi branjeta ta kraken na gerach. Tal het sé sta me wa heldiga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Honna vadeliam rahas pavrabolja waten am shirin egen skursal het kid for a hawel da arela Louis la wada la Hallister train war na Hercules gregach. Tal het sé sta me wa helniga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Ta donalar mishke savani golish kes na ljania beki ta donalar mishke savani golish kes na pashia beki. Tal het sé sta me wa helniga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Farflek agus fralik a sjomen a halne sé doen na grenja golle tugreja gij het sé sjakten en golle dilan agus na tjunjeller baninji heller. Tal het sé sta me wa helniga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Nilien van a gorki na rullische gommen na kalinio gas shingle is pas am rekus am lille sjelan a sjakten a blader is brega actri skelte. Tal het sé sta me wa helniga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Ta donalar mishke savani golish kes na ljania beki ta donalar mishke savani golish kes na pashia beki. Tal het sé sta me wa helniga goede salenia doen na genja gas doen na glenja gas doen na grenja. Woo!
All right, that was Down on the Grain by Grania Howland from The Rough Guide to Irish Music. Now it's time for Everyday Celtic Ways, a look into how our Celtic heritage is still very much a part of our everyday lives. On Everyday Celtic Ways, we will talk about modern organizations that will help you connect to your Celtic roots and a modern Pictish discovery. Today I'm going to tell you about the St. Andrew Society and the St. Louis one, and all they do to promote the Scottish culture here in St. Louis. The Scottish St. Andrew Society of St. Louis, their mission is to preserve and promote the Scottish culture in the St. Louis region through educational programs, cultural events, philanthropic deeds, and partnering with local cultural organizations. They are dedicated to sharing traditions with the community by passing on knowledge to whoever loves learning about Scotland. Now, the St. Andrew Society, they hold monthly meetings, board meetings, first Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. at CJ Muggs in Clayton. Now, these meetings are open to the public, and they're discussing, how to operate, what things to do. Some of the events that they sponsor are St. Andrew's Dinner in November and Robert Burns dinners in January. Some of the past events that they've done, Scottish Gin cocktail socials and speaker series and tartan day, and it looks like they got social nights and dinners and meetups, and they look like they're a very active group. I just found out about them. I just became a part of this St. Louis Scottish Gaelic group, and so I just kind of learned that we actually had a St. Andrew Society. I was shocked. But I definitely will find out more about this and let you know. But yeah, it looks like they do great things here. I can't wait. Now, I was doing my research and I saw this article. It's called "A New Discovery of a 1,200-Year-Old Pictish Standing Stone Found in the Highlands of Scotland." Now, this is by Douglas McQueen. It's back in October, but I wanted to make sure that it was authentic, because you can't always trust what you get off the internet these days. But it says a Pictish standing stone with unique carvings has been discovered in an old burial ground near Dingwall. Scottish Gaelic is Inver Filafarin in the Highlands of Scotland. The 1,200-year-old standing stone has carvings never before seen on a Pictish stone. The discovery of the stone was originally made by a member of North of Scotland Archaeology Society and was then referred via regional archaeologists to Historic Environment Scotland. One of the sides of the two massive beasts that flank and surmount the cross are quite unlike anything found on any other Pictish stone. These two unique creatures serve to remind us that whilst we can at times draw parallels between different carved stones, Pictish sculptures had a remarkable capacity for creativity and individuality. Alright, now, looks like they're doing some crowdfunding to pay for the preservation of these things. Now, the Picts were a Celtic society of farmers and hunters, and the remains of Pictish art, language, and society can be found throughout north and eastern Scotland. The Picts were made up of different tribes who became increasingly united for defensive purposes against the threat of first the Romans and then later the invasion of the Angles and Saxons, which saw the emergence of the Kingdom of Northumbria. Now, this threat of invasion was emphasized by the victory of the Angles at the Battle of Dagastan with the defeat of King Aidan of Dalriada. This victory saw a period of Northumbrian expansion between 657 AD and 685 AD. They occupied the southern lands of the Picts. However, this rise in the fortunes of Northumbria was curtailed by the emergence of Bridil, who was the son of King Nathan of Strathclyde. King Bridie MacBilly led a force of Picts which engaged in battle with the Northumbrians under the King Ecgfrith on the 20th of May, 685, at Nectansmere. With a series of brilliant maneuvers, they defeated the Northumbrians, killing King Ecgfrith in the process. There then followed a continued period of decline for Northumbria until their eventual merger into the rising Kingdom of England. The Picts went on to become a crucial part in the forging and the establishment of the nation of Scotland. And I have a few pictures of these stones, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I can't even whittle a stick, let alone carve like this. These are some real artists. I will put this up on the screen so you guys can see as well. Alright, well, that's everything. That's it for Everyday Celtic Ways today. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you liked it. I'm trying to keep it interesting, informative, and fun. For me, anytime you can infuse something Celtic into your day, it's a good day. I'll give you, before we leave, the answer to today's trivia question. It's Oscar Wilde is the famous Dublin writer-playwright who his statue lounges upon this boulder in St. Stephen's Green. It's kind of weird that when me and my brothers were walking up to it, first we thought it was a real person because it's a very detailed statue and even got some color to it. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, remember to check out learngaelic.net. Also check out acgaamerica.org. Okay, your local St. Andrew's Society. I honestly didn't know we had one here in St. Louis, and I definitely am going to find out more about it. But so if I didn't know I had one, you may not know you had one either. You might want to check that out. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Ye Olde Scot. And I've been doing some interesting things lately. I've been taking Gaelic songs, Scottish Gaelic songs, and I've been making videos where I put the what they're singing in Gaelic on the screen, as well as translation in English, so that you can learn these Gaelic songs yourself and know what you're singing about too. I always give a little bit of the history at the beginning, about a minute of it, and then get right into the song. So they've been very popular. The first two I've put out have just gone crazy with the views. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who has been subscribing lately. There's too many to name, but I really appreciate you guys. That means that what I'm doing well, and I'm doing well. I may not doing it well, but I'm doing it. So I'm hoping you like it. And if you got any comments, just let me know. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Martian Leave and Drasta. Bye for now. And I'm gonna let you go with this song from a group called Fiddle. It's called "Kiss the Maid Behind the Burn."